Good morning, Flosstube. I'm Sarah, this is Sew Me Sarah, and you're very welcome to my little corner of YouTube where I talk all things cross stitch and sometimes other needle crafts thrown in there. I hope that you will enjoy your time with me here. If you're new here, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for choosing to watch the channel for a little bit. I know there are lots of us Flosstubers calling on your time these days, but thank you for giving the channel a try. And if you like it, then please come back again and join the community here at Sew Me Sarah. Those of you who are already part of that community, thank you so much for coming back time after time, for engaging with me in the comments, and for making this more than just me sitting in my kitchen talking to a screen. This really is a community, and you know, because I say it all the time, that it means so much to me to have created these connections with you guys all over our shared love of the little cross stitch. So today I've got quite a few things to show you, so I think we should just probably get on with it. Since the last time that I was here, I don't know about you, but I feel the weight of the world heavily at the moment. There is so much going on that is not good, and this isn't the place where I choose to share all of that or my thoughts or whatever, but I do want to say that I acknowledge there is a lot of devastation, confusion, terror, difficulty, all of those things going on in world politics, in war, in natural disasters, and my heart goes out to everyone, every human being who is affected by those things. And my prayers will be that the right thing will be done in the end, that people will be helped, and that in politics and in war, that countries and people will see sense. But as I said, this isn't the place where I engage with all that, but I just did want to acknowledge that I know it has been a heavy, heavy week. Many of you will know people or yourselves be directly affected, and my thoughts are with everyone. Okay, there's not a lot of family news to share with you. In fact, there's no family news. We're just getting on with it. It's, routine. Just we're all well again, and we're all just doing the day-to-day thing. So let's talk a little bit about some stitchy things that have happened since the last time. I have received some fun post. I want to share that with you because you might be able to avail of some of it yourself. The first is a lovely big box came from the Historical Sampler Company. Now, they invited me to join them for their Christmas stitch along this year, and I said yes. And so they have gifted me the stitch along kit, and they have also gifted me the advent calendar, which is a separate purchase. I believe the advent calendar is now sold out. But you can still get the Christmas stitch along chart and the kit and the fabrics and everything for that. And this is a stitch along called Robin Christmas Patchwork, and it starts on Monday the 14th of October. So I'm looking forward to that start. I've seen some sneak peeks of the designs. I will put a little picture in here for you, and it looks really cute. So this is the envelope for the kit. And if you order the kit, you have a choice of a 16 count Aida or a 32 count linen. And the color for this stitch is a beautiful green color. So I chose the linen, and it is a Sweetheart 32 count linen, and it's a beautiful green. And in this kit, you also get all of your threads pre-sorted. And here you can just see the little needle pack poking out. There we go. That is the needle pack included for you. Now, you don't get in the kit at this time, you don't get the patterns included because the patterns come by PDF on a release, on a schedule for release. So I think it's a fortnightly schedule and it's a 4-part sal. As I said, this is still available to order, so I will put the links down below if you're interested in Robin Christmas Patchwork. And the Advent box, which I'm sharing with you, but sadly you can't order it. But the Advent box arrived also, and it's humongous. I'm shocked, really shocked. See how big it is? So this is the lovely Advent box. I have had a peek inside, but I promise I haven't opened any of the packages. So inside, and this is a fantastic box. I will absolutely be keeping this box. This might become my under the bed box for small projects that are finished. So inside here, we've got a little pack with some threads that we're going to need for some of the projects that are in the Advent calendar. We've got a little bag of finishing materials, and then we have all of our numbered Advent Day packages. So there are 24 packages in here to open. I'm really looking forward to this. Now, Historical Sampler Company offer a mixture of gifts in their Advent calendar. So some of them will be directly stitch related, some of them will be ornamental, some of them this year will be little cross-stitch designs for us to stitch up through the period. So I'm looking forward to all of that, and I will share it with you in December. I haven't quite decided how I will do that. Possibly I'll do a little weekly reveal afterwards, so that I'm not doing any spoilers for folks, but it will give you an idea of how they put their box together and the kinds of things that come in the box you might be interested in future years. If you have received one of these Advent calendars, I wish you every joy opening it come December, and I wish you every patience in the meantime not to peek. I'm going to put mine away, out of sight, out of mind, I hope, in the meantime. So that is the post that has arrived in the last couple of weeks. Another piece of post, really spectacular piece of post, came from Swan Bay Fabrics. Now, last time I chatted to you about a special thing, it was Swan Bay Fabrics, and that is a new UK fabric fabric dyer, and that is our lovely Marie, who is Flosstuber at Stitches and Diamonds, who organises the Stitch in London retreat. Marie and her husband have set up a fabric dyeing business in the UK, and they are called Swan Bay Fabrics. Now, very, very generously, Marie sent a beautiful box to me of samples of her fabric. And I'm going to show them just briefly here, just for you to get an idea. These are the fabrics that will be available to us all, because she is going to post internationally, or they are going to post internationally, I should say. That's a really, really good representation of the colours. Now, there are 13 fabrics in all, and if you've been particularly eagle-eyed, you'll see there's only 12 here because I have one of those fabrics in use already. I couldn't wait to test drive one of the fabrics. So I will show you that a little bit later on, and we'll talk a little bit more about the fabrics. Marie sent me this selection. It's a little pack of fat 16ths, and they're 40 count. So they are going to be concentrating on 32 count, 36 count, 40 count, 46 count, and possibly some 56 count linens. And they are going to have a few Adas as well, I think 16 and 18 and 20. Don't quote me on that, I need to double check, but Swan Bay Fabrics is opening to the masses on the website for online orders on the 14th of October. So keep an eye out for that happening. If you want to make sure you don't forget, follow Swan Bay Fabrics on Instagram. I will link them down below, and I will also link the website so that you can keep an eye there for the opening of that site. Marie and Gunther are having a soft launch this weekend at Stitch in London and next weekend at Stitch in London as well. And then I think they're going to be bombarded with orders. So every blessing to them for that. These fabrics are gorgeous. And as I said, I'm going to talk a little bit more about them a little bit later on. And you will see them recurring in a number of videos that have to come up. They're worth talking about. So that was another lovely delivery. And that was my Swan Bay Fabrics selection. And then I finally got caught up with my friend Margaret, who lives very locally, less than a 5-minute drive away. And we just didn't manage to get caught up over the summer because my summer was a little bit too interrupted, let's say. But we finally got caught up. And when Margaret came to visit, she brought me a little gift. And I just wanted to show it to you because it's really lovely. Now, this is a kit that Margaret bought 2 of, one for me and one for her, and we're going to stitch this together, and it's an embroidery kit. It's called Save the Bees, Save the Bees Gold Work, and it is a kit by the Crafty Heart. The designer is Rosie Wu, and you can see there the Crafty Heart. So this little kit is going to be a little experiment for Margaret and I on gold work, and this is what we're going to stitch, or this is what I'm going to attempt to stitch. I have seen the instructions, so you download a PDF of instructions for this, and it's all broken down really nicely, really well. So I am hoping that between the two of us, we will be able to manage something approximating this. But I'm really excited to try it. So I look forward to this a little bit later on in the autumn time when Margaret and I get back together again. So I thought that was such a really lovely gift for Margaret to bring. So thank you, Margaret. And just to share with you, there's a little pattern draft here. And inside the box, you've got all your supplies. You've got a hoop and fabric, little bits of felt, sequins, these gold work threads, which I don't know the names of yet, some needle, thread and a waxer. So it's a very sweet little kit. And as I said, I'm looking forward to doing that with Margaret. I like to try new things from time to time, and I haven't ever tried gold work, so that's going to be it's going to be fun. I'm excited. So I just wanted to share that with you because I know some of you also like to try different things from time to time. And as I said, I have downloaded the instructions and I printed them out because I like to print things out. And they look very clear to me. So I think these are, you know, the kit is well supported with the instructions. So if you're interested, you could have a look at that yourselves. That's all of my post, but sticking with bees, I need to tell you who won the share away for the birds and the bees pattern that I was showing last time. I think a lot of you agreed with me that this photography isn't showing this pattern in its best light, but it didn't stop some of you being interested in it. And the winner of the random comment picker was Gillian Beasley 7007. So Gillian, congratulations on winning. I will pop this in an envelope and into the post for you as soon as I can. If you could email me at the address that's in the information box below, or you can private message me on Instagram. I am Somi Sarah on Instagram, and let me know your mailing address. I will get this to you as soon as I can. Now I am away over the middle of the week and the weekend, so if I don't hear from you by Tuesday, it will probably be later the following week before I get it to you, but let me have your address and I'll get it to you as soon as I can. Okay, I think that's all of the admin and chit chat, so let's go and have a look at what I've been stitching. So I do have a number of fully finished objects to share with you, and it's always nice to be able to start with some fully finishes. So I had to get everything out, the sewing machine, the glue, the trims, all this stuff, in order to finish my Stitch in London swap piece this weekend. So while I was doing that, I chose another couple of small finished pieces to do the good stuff too as well. So I made little pillows, and I thought I'll just share them with you. Now, obviously I cannot share the Stitch in London swap piece just yet. That is for next weekend. And I will record, after this video, I will record that piece and show you what's going into my swap, and then I will include that in my next video post-retreat. But the lucky projects that got picked up because I was bringing out all the finishing supplies anyway are this little lovebirds piece. This is a small pattern that was included with one of the collector's heart years. I think it's 2020. I think the one I stitched was the 2020 collector's heart. And this was the little small additional pattern that came with that. So I just made it into a little cushion. They're all cushions, all these finishes. I know I show you cushions quite a lot, but I don't actually have that many, so I really want to bump up my cushions. That's the cute fabric that I was able to put on the back, some quilting fabric, and a little bit of a natural coloured chenille ecru kind of colour there that works with the beads and some of the colouring in this stitch. So I'm happy with that little finish. The next little pillow that I finished is the Sweet Wing Studios Goodness and Mercy. I'm really happy with that blue chenille that I managed to put on, and on the back I've got a yellow gingham, just a plain yellow gingham. And I like this. I like that the pillows are different shapes and sizes. I enjoy having that variety when I'm gonna display them. So that is Goodness and Mercy. And then this one is much larger. This is the Prim Alphabet sampler by Frog Cottage Designs. I adore this. I adore it. Can't tell you how much I adore it. So I love the pattern, and I did when I was stitching it. I love how it is finished. I love that the threads work so beautifully. A little bit of red chenille, and this is one of my very favorite low volume quilting fabrics. It is like a library fabric. It's absolutely gorgeous, and you can't get any more of it now. I can't find it anywhere, but I do have a little bit more in my stash, so prepare to see more of this fabric as time passes. But I love it. It is bigger, but again, I want to have some bigger pillows, smaller pillows, longer pillows. I want to have a nice variety when I finally have enough to actually make a display. And apologies, I realised I've just been covering my mouth again. But yes, I like the variety of the size of pillows, and hope to have more. I actually hope to have some more red pillows. I think that's something that's calling to me, is to make some more small red thread pillows. So we'll see how that plan works out, but it's not a this year plan, clearly. So those are 3 of the finishes that I can share with you. I have one that I can share with you now that has been a secret for some time. I don't have it here, but I will insert some pictures. This is my gift to Sally. Sally, as you know, is at Flossie Sews and Grows, and she is my partner for the Fun for 50 Sal 2024. And guess what? Sally made it all the way to her birthday. It was just a week or so ago, and I wished her a very happy birthday, as did many of her other stitchy friends, and I sent her this stitch. This is called In Friendship, and it is a pattern by Modern Folk Embroidery. Sally loves purples, so I chose 3 different purple threads to work this piece in. They are classic colourwork threads. The darkest is Aura's Iris, the mid shade is Sugar Plum, and the palest is called Fleur de Lilac. They're stitched on a 36 count silver grey linen by Zweigart. I enjoyed every single stitch of this. Sometimes I didn't enjoy trying to figure out which was the best way to place the next colour, but I think it worked out okay. I was trying really hard to keep it balanced, and when you just have that 3 colours to choose from, it can be a little bit tricky, but I hope it worked. I think it worked. And I absolutely love them. I love purple too, but it is Sally's absolute favourite colour. So it was a pleasure to choose some pretty purples and work with them for her. And to finish this piece, I mounted it on some matte card, laced it, and then I mounted that on another fabric covered piece of card. And then it just pops into the frame. It's kind of wedged in there. It's tight enough that it isn't going to fall out loose. Sally can glue it in if she really wants to, but I left it unglued just so that she had the option if perhaps the frame wasn't to her taste. So it's a simple white frame, but you know, I'm not sure of her decor and how it works for her, but she has that option anyway. So I'm really, really thrilled how it worked out. I love the purple fabric. It's one of the Tilda fabrics, and I think the colour of it just worked perfectly in the background for this particular stitch. So happy birthday, Sally. I'm so glad you liked it. And this was, yes, one of the secret stitches that I have been up to lately. So that is my other fully finished object. I have 2 stitch finishes to share with you. The first is last year's Stitch in London Retreat piece, and it is another modern folk embroidery piece, and it is called 10 Merry Sailors and Their Loyal Dog. So I stitched it on vintage country mocha, which was called for fabric. I used a 40 count, and the floss is Roxy Floss Co. Great Lakes, which I think you'll agree is a beautiful deep blue colour, and it works really well. It would not be my channel if there wasn't a mishap, so you all know by now, you all know. So that is Great Lakes, 10 Merry Sailors and Their Loyal Dog, and I'm really happy that I got it finished before this year's Stitch in London, like just before. But I am happy that it is finished. And it has lots of fun memories in this piece. I have to be honest and say this is not a piece I probably would have chosen myself. You know, if I was just searching a website and going to buy something, but it's not about that. It is still a lovely design, but it's full of memories. It's full of the memories of the laughter of table 9 as we chatted and talked nonsense and decided, you know, what some of these things were. You know, which is the dog? Is this a dog? Is this a sea monster? Because this is a dog. Nonsense conversation, but good friendly conversation and nice retreat time together with some new friends. So there are lots of memories in this piece, and I'm very happy to have it stitched. I don't know what I'm going to do with it to fully finish it. It could be that I put it into a project bag, but I'll leave it for a little while and see what happens. Yeah, we'll make a decision about that later on. So that is my first finished stitch. My next finished stitch is Light a Single Candle. Oh, we're all about modern folk embroidery today. So I think there's 3 in a row I've shown you now. But this is Light a Single Candle by Modern Folk Embroidery. It was one of my starts this year in the Fun for 50 Sal. And I've stitched this on a 32 count Lugana from Picture This Plus. The colour is Mystic and I love it. I really love the colour. So good. And the thread is a Roxy Floss Co. It's a sample that we were given last year at Stitch in London, and it's called Platinum. I don't see this on the website as a a regular floss, although I think it should be because it's beautiful, beautiful silver color of floss. So I love this piece. It is a free chart, so if you like it and you're interested yourself, I'll put a link below, but you will find it on the Modern Folk Embroidery website in their freebies charts. It's really easy to stitch, says she who made several mistakes, but never mind. It is an easy stitch and it's a lovely stitch, so I'm really, really happy to have finished this one. I think it will look nice in a white frame with a little bit of detail on the frame. That's what I'm thinking at the minute. Well, again, we'll see. I think I have too much going on at the minute to make decisions about the finishes. So for now, I'm just really delighted to have the stitch finished. So as I said, it was Sally's birthday, and for the Fun for 50 Sal 2024, Sally chose her birthday start to be Americana Blue by October House Fibre Arts. So this is the sampler pattern, and it is deceptively large. I don't know why, but I didn't think this was as big as it's going to be, but it's going to be gorgeous. It is going to be gorgeous. I just, for some reason, didn't think of it as a big sampler, but it is. I think it's about 247 by 246 or something like that. I don't have it here, but yeah, I think it's something like that. So it's quite sizable. It fulfills one of the prompts that you guys left for us. So Ryder Jones left us a prompt for the year that said we should choose a chart for each other to stitch. So we have done that. I have chosen a chart for Sally to stitch for my birthday, and she chose her chart for me to stitch. So thank you, that was a great prompt for us to work with. And this is my start. It doesn't look like much, but those stitches are tiny and there are lots of them. I'm stitching on a 40 count. It is Speculas from Roxy Floss Co. I'll give you an idea of it. It's quite a bit darker on this side, but I think I wanted to stitch mine in red. You can see that my Americana Blue is going to be Americana in blue in red. And I'm stitching with Louisiana Hot Sauce, which is a really bright variegated red floss that was suggested by my lovely friend Stacy from Mississippi. I love it. I think that it brightens up this fabric a little bit, which I prefer. And I am really looking forward to seeing how this develops. So up close and personal. That is how much I have stitched at the minute. I have to say, this emblem here, that's hard work. Yeah, that's really hard work, especially on the 40 count. I think it's just a lot of counting. And there are 8 of those and I've only done 1. So I think it's very much a case of I will be stitching those. Let's see if we can get those emblems as we go along, so that I'm not doing them all at the start to begin with and I'm not doing them all at the end. So definitely perhaps with each stitching session I need to start with one of those and then move on to something a little more fun. But it is a beautiful chart and I really enjoyed stitching the little button and the threads, and of course I was excited to get to another part of the stitching. So I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful. I know lots of you have joined us. There are lots of varying shades of blue being stitched out there. Stacey has joined me with the Louisiana Hot Sauce, but it really is worth having a little look at the hashtag Fun450Sal 2024 to see the variety of blues and colours that are being stitched for this birthday start. So Thank you for choosing such a lovely birthday start, Sally. It is fun to be doing this together, and I hope that you love stitching on yours. My upcoming starts for the Fun for 50 Sal include the Mill Hill Harp Kit, which I've forgotten to bring down, so I'm sorry about that. But I will be starting that tomorrow. I did show it on the last video. It's a little Mill Hill kit of an Irish harp, a Christmas one. And then I'm going to sneak in another start, which I didn't include on my schedule last video, but I'm going to sneak in the Robin Christmas Patchwork. I basically forgot to include it in the numbers last time, so that was planned, and it will be started on the 14th of October, or as close to the 14th as I get. That is the day after Stitch in London retreat, so it depends how much of a retreat hangover I have, whether I get to start on that one or not. But that is the plan for the next couple of weeks of starts for the 50 New Starts challenge that Sally and I are doing. And then I think on the next video in a couple of weeks' time, I'll share with you the November starts and possibly the December starts too, because we haven't got very many left. This one, Americana Blue, was actually start number 42 for both of us. So we have 8 more to go, and I'm approaching that with mixed feelings, because I'm really glad, because it now looks like it's possible to achieve at this stage, but it will be kind of sad to be finished, but ultimately all positive. So and don't forget that Sally and I are planning to record together again after Stitch in London, hopefully sometime towards the end of October. So if you have any questions for us about a stitch along, about how it works doing this 50 challenge thing, then please do ask in the questions below, and we will keep those questions for that shared video. For Get Connected, I want to just revisit Across the Pond for the Sal, which I discussed last time. So forgive me for being repetitive. I'm going to do the same with my one special thing as well. I'm going to repeat what we had last time, but I hope you'll understand why. So getting connected in the community is something that I know many of you like to do and are interested in doing, and some of you are hesitant to do and perhaps would like. So in this little section, I try to include a way that I've come across when I've been watching Flosstube, ways that are, options that are available. I'm sorry, I am speaking really badly today. Please forgive me for that. But options that are out there for you to be able to connect, whether that's Zoom groups or SALs or retreats or Facebook groups, whatever it might be. If I think it might be something that you might like to know about, I will try and share that here. So last time I mentioned that Across the Pond, which is a Zoom group that I talk about a lot, but Across the Pond is actually a Facebook group as well. So you don't have to attend the Zoom sessions to be part of the Facebook group. And this year, well, 2025, we are going to have an Across the Pond Sal. Last time I had only just announced that on the Facebook group, so I didn't want to spoil the surprise by saying it here. I wanted folks to be able to find that on the Facebook group to find out what our pattern was. We had a poll, and we selected our favorite option from 3 beautiful charts, and the winner was a la-di-da chart called One Stitch at a Time. Now, this is a beautiful chart. It is available from local needlework stores or 123 Stitch, other online stores, and it's also available from the ladida.com website. I will link below. It's available as a PDF. So if you are interested in joining us for this stitch along, you can join the Facebook group as well. There's no commitment to the Zoom, so you don't have to panic about being on a Zoom call. And all you have to do is join the Facebook group and follow along. You can see what we're going to post. I have plans to post later this month on the Facebook group the guidelines for the SAL and the assignment breakdown for the stitch along for next year. It will be a stitch along that starts mid-January and will run for most of the year if you want it to. There are no hard and fast rules about this, but please do come and check it out if you are interested. These are the beautiful called for flosses for the SAL. I think they're very rich. They look much richer actually than the photograph appears. This one is a DMC, which is why it's a little bit longer than the others. And one of the things I'm going to do fairly soon, again after Stitch in London towards the end of October, is I'm going to share a floss toss video for this stitch along. There was interest on our September Zoom call about which of Marie and Gunter's new fabrics, the Swan Bay Fabrics, would work for this stitch along. So there you go. So I am preparing a video that will show a floss toss on all of the fabrics. I will open out the fabrics, I will lay the flosses on each one, and you will hopefully get to see. Now it is kind of dependent on whether or not, you know, fabric is really hard to photograph. And today, just holding them up like this is a good view of the colors, but sometimes it's not so easy to capture the color perfectly. But I will do my best, and I have my flosses all prepared. Look, I have them all taped together so that disaster will not ensue. you know here. So these will be the flosses that we will be tossing on to the Swan Bay Fabrics and letting you see what the possibilities are and what the preferences might be. And a small spoiler alert, lots and lots of these fabrics work really beautifully with these flosses. So I'm going to share that. You can keep an eye out for that. I will probably post that as a separate video. It will go, well, it will be linked first of all to the Facebook group. So if you are in the Across the Pond Facebook group, that is the first place you will see it, I think. I'm saying this because my technological knowledge of Facebook is slim. So I'm figuring out, can I actually post the entire video there, or do I have to just link to it? But either way, I'm going to share it with you guys, even if you're not going to do the Across the Pond SAL, just so that you can see in a little bit more detail the Swan Bay Fabrics. So I would expect that video to be up maybe a week or so after Stitch in London. So keep an eye out for that. It will be a little Flosstube extra here on my channel. And it will give you a little peek at the Swan Bay fabric collection. Now, as I said in the box there, I was showing you 12 of the 13 fabrics. Number 13 is one that I have already started to stitch on. And I chose this pattern, Gathering Honey, because it's been in my stash for a long time. So it's a sneaky start. I wasn't planning this. I didn't realize I was going to get this beautiful bundle of fabrics and I was going to be so impatient to start stitching on it. But Gathering Honey, I thought, just worked really perfectly for a fabric that they are calling Highbury Gold. All of the fabric names for this collection are Jane Austen inspired. So Highbury Gold is this color, and I'm hoping, really hoping, that you can see it really well. I think that does quite a good job of showing you. It's a beautiful ivory base with gold mottling on. and I think it's such a lovely clean colour. But the addition of the gold mottling just adds some interest to it. I've stitched this with Classic Colourworks Queen Bee, which is one of my favourite yellows. And as I said, it's Gathering Honey from Luminous Fibre Arts. So let me show you close up if I can. It washes out really terribly close up, but there, that's really a good representation of the colour of it. So absolutely gorgeous to stitch on. So I wanted to stitch on this so that I could tell you what it's like. It is, as you can see, a Sweetheart base fabric. So that's a winner in itself for me. I love Sweetheart base fabrics. And as someone who stitches in hand, I really like this fabric is soft but not floppy or flimsy, so it's still good to hold in hand. It's obviously going to be also great for your hoops as well. It feels beautiful, it feels soft to the touch, and I like this type of mottling. And if you see the other colours as well, when I do the floss toss, you'll see that the mottling in them is all very gentle. Certainly for this initial collection, it's very gentle, and I have to say the colours are very clean colours, and that really appeals to me. So this 40 count linen gets my huge thumbs up, and I definitely think you would not be disappointed with the Swan Bay Fabrics. So I really hope you'll give them a look. And it's not just about supporting them, because it's about the service they're providing to us, and you know how much we're going to get out of it as well as their customers. So thank you, Swan Bay, for offering this to us, but also thank you for doing a great job at it. So this was my impatient start on the Swan Bay Fabrics Gathering Honey. Okay, so that was Get Connected and the One Special Thing kind of all rolled into one there. Join the SAL. If you're interested, you'd be more than welcome to join the Facebook group and follow along with the SAL in 2025. And keep an eye out for Swan Bay Fabrics for the launch of their website, and for my little video which will show you some of the fabrics in a little bit more detail in the next couple of weeks. One of the things I shared with you on the last video was this book, The Everyday Folk by Krista West. Now, when I say shared, I just mentioned in passing in relation to hem stitch tutorial. And I did say that if you were interested, I would do a flip through. So a few of you have asked for that. So that is what I'm going to do now. If that doesn't interest you, you can always skip ahead a little bit just to the end, where I'll tell you about my plans before signing off. So let's have a little look at Everyday Folk by Krista West. Now, Krista West is the designer for Avalia, and this is not a designer that I know very much about, but her designs are folk inspired, and this book is beautiful. It is a beautiful book, and let me just show you as best I can. We'll see how many times I drop it. Okay, so the book starts off with a little bit of an introduction to Krista and her background, and then you have the usual kind of tools and materials. It's quite detailed on this, so that's really nice for people who are new. And then, you know, details about how to get started with your stitching. A little bit about design styles in folk embroidery. So this talks about designs that are all over designs, or perimeter border designs, or centered border designs, double-ended designs, single motif designs, small border designs. So it's a breakdown of all of those. Then she moves into a section that's called Essential Projects. I'll move my hand out of your way. And in here there are a number of projects then for which the full pattern is given. So this one is a table mat, Brindisi Diamonds table mat. Naxos Stars. Cerulean Scrolls, nice little border, like a perimeter border style then. And you can see that a number of these have the hem stitch edging on them because they're little table toppers. Linden Leaves, that'd be a center border. Thessaly Chevrons. Evian Terrazzo. This one is made into a pillow. You'll see in the next section that she does have finishing information for different types of finishes, which is why the hem stitch finish was included there as well. This design is beautiful. It's called Santorini Botanica. Dodecanese Ornamental. Chrysanthi Geometric. I like this one. Odessa Tulips. Oak Leaves, a little drawstring bag finish. Delphian Diamonds. Cecile border. Primrose banding. And that is the collection of full patterns that are given in the book. And then, as I mentioned, she moves into a section on finishing techniques where there's quite detailed information. I shared with you last week the hem stitch tutorials, the drawn border, drawn thread hems, making cushion covers. There's a mitered border cover there, making wall hangings and bandings, making bandings on this page. Making a drawstring bag. So you can see this book is very detailed. Making an envelope bag. And then the last section of the book is a design library. So the front of the book mentions that there are over 175 embroidery designs in here, and the majority of those will be in the back section of this design library. I'm just going to quickly flash a couple of pages, but there are different types of designs. Again, a lot of technical detail here to help you design your design, to decide on your layout, where you're going to place the various motifs or borders. There's a worksheet to help you calculate sizes required. So it really is very detailed, good teaching resource. And then there is the library of designs. So you've got like this, you've got all over designs, a couple of all over designs, moving into more border type pieces. Again, I don't want to show them too closely, but smaller borders, like this. So it is very detailed book. Lots and lots of information in here and lots of designs. I do feel like I should tell you though that for many of the designs in the book, the patterns are very small. At least in my opinion, they're very small. I'm gonna flash one quickly. So this is the pattern for this. Looks like this. Okay, so it's really small. I mean, it's clear, but it's really small. I think that if you are going to really want to stitch out of this book, that you might want to get some of these patterns enlarged. So if it's going to bother you that you have to take that to get it enlarged somewhere else, then I just wanted you to be aware of that. Now, there are some of the patterns, I'm just trying to find them, where they have, so here, for example, this is the full scope and they've enlarged it here. So it's slightly larger there. But on the whole, I would say that these are quite small in print, the patterns. But, you know, it's not insurmountable. You can take them to a copy shop. You can get them enlarged a little bit to work up. But they are absolutely stunning designs, and it would be a shame to overlook the book if the patterns interest you. It would be a shame to overlook the book just because the patterns are a little bit small. Because a few enlargement photocopies would solve that problem. Or you could take a photograph and have it on your iPad and, you know, enlarge it that way as well. So there are workarounds for it, is what I'm trying to say. I don't want it to put you off purchasing the book, but if I'm going to give my recommendation here, I want to make you aware of something that I see as a slight pitfall really of the book. So I hope that hasn't come across as too harsh, because that's not what I wanted to do, but you're my viewers and it's important to me that I give you an honest review of something. So I'm certainly impressed with the amount of detail that the book has gone into for finishing techniques, for the different options for finishing a pillow, a table runner, the little drawstring bag and wall hangings, that kind of thing. That I think that's good information to be sharing. So that is my little flip through of Everyday Folk for what it's worth. Okay, plans. As you can imagine, my plans are pretty much centered around Stitch in London at this point. I'm so excited to go. My friend Noreen and I are heading off on Thursday morning super early and we're going to have a little day in London, hopefully visiting the V&A Museum before we go out to Watford for the retreat, which will be starting on Friday morning or Friday lunchtime. So I am really looking forward to some time with Noreen. I am looking forward to meeting new friends and old friends at Stitch in London. Of course, I will have some new starts. It's a retreat. And there are, I have pre-ordered 2 of the retreat exclusives. So one is a pattern from Yasmin's Made with Love, which is the Stitch in London retreat sampler for 2024. It's adorable. So I have pre-ordered that. I hope to start that there. And I have pre-ordered an exclusive kit from the Historical Sampler Company, which is an autumnal sampler. I really am tripping over my tongue today, sorry folks. So those 2 pieces I'm going to sneak in as unnumbered starts into this year, and they will just be my Stitch in London retreat starts. So I'm looking forward to those. I also plan, I very much hope, that I will be able to join Andrew the Runner Stitcher as he is doing his Chicago Marathon. Now, I'm not joining him for the marathon, obviously, but he has a little challenge out there for us all to join in with. So go and watch his videos. I'm hoping he might have another one between now and next week. to remind us of this challenge. But the idea is that in support of him and his endeavours at the marathon, that we will all stitch 262 stitches in an effort to cheer him on. So I am at Stitch in London. I did laugh when he said, I hope you're going to join. And I said, well, what do you reckon are my chances of getting 262 stitches in while on retreat? I mean, you know, you think you're going to a stitching retreat, you should be able to get those stitches in, but who knows? But Andrew, I'm all planned. I have chosen a fill-in piece that will get me just over 262 stitches to join with you. So that is what I plan to stitch on Sunday morning at retreat, if I'm not too exhausted. Maybe I'll be talked out by then and will actually set my bum on a seat and stitch. So those are my plans for Stitch in London. There will be some shopping. There will be lots of talking to friends, old and new. And if you're going to weekend 2 of Stitch in London, please make sure you say hello to me, because it's just lovely to meet new folks who are also passionate about our craft. So I hope that I will be back in 2 weeks' time. So I will give myself a few days to recover from Stitch in London, and then I will come back and tell you a little bit about it. And I think that's really all there is for today. So I hope that in the next couple of weeks you will find time to stitch what you enjoy, and also find time to share and connect with others about your stitching too. So in the meantime, I will see you on the 20th, I hope. And I hope that until then you will stay well and stitch happy. Take care. Bye-bye.